In this video, you'll be learning how to solve quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. Okay, so you guys remember the base equation for quadratic expressions, which is 0 is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. We're writing this down here because we'll be using these variables a, b, and c in the quadratic formula. Okay, so let's find the variables a, b, and c. They're already in the original equation. A is negative 4, because it's formatted the same way. Same with b, b is 6, and c is negative 13. Okay. So don't get scared when I write the quadratic expression. It might seem tricky to learn and memorize the formula, but once you use it many times, it'll be easier to understand, and after, in a further video where I teach you how to derive it, it'll be much easier to remember. And once you remember it, it'll be the most consistent method of solving it for more complicated expressions. Okay, so the quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the quantity of. So plus or minus, this means it can be added or subtracted, plus the quantity of square root b squared minus 4ac. This term b squared minus 4ac, b squared minus 4ac is something called a discriminant, or as d. When you learn how to derive the quadratic formula, we'll be using the discriminant, so just remember. Okay, so it's minus b plus or minus the whole square of the quantity of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2 times a, 2a. So that's the formula. Oh, and that whole thing is equal to x. Okay, so let's get into substituting the variables. So negative b is 6, okay? Negative b is negative 6. So we'll do negative 6 plus or minus square root b squared is 6 squared minus 4ac, minus 4 times negative 4 times negative 13, because c is negative 13 and a is negative 4. And this whole thing divided by 2a, which is 2 times negative 4. Okay, so now we've distributed all the terms into the equation. Let's solve this equation. Okay, so minus 6 plus or minus, since we're simplifying it, 6 squared is also 36 minus, or wait, not minus yet. Okay, so minus 4 times minus 4 is equal to 16. That times negative 13 is equal to, well, 160 plus 48, which is equal to 208. Okay, it's negative 208. So 36 minus 208 divided by negative 8, which is 2 times minus 4, is equal to x. Okay. So from here, 36 minus 208 is 172, is negative 172. So it turns into negative 6 plus or minus square root the quantity of negative 172 divided by negative 8. So let's simplify this equation, this part of the equation. Minus 170, square root of minus 172. Okay. So if you guys are familiar with the imaginary number I, if you guys aren't familiar, then just ignore this segment. Okay, just leave it as square root negative 172. So I is the imaginary number square root of negative 1 because it doesn't exist. It's just a variable that represents that it doesn't exist as a real number. Okay, so since I is square root negative 1, then square root negative 172 is equal to square root negative 1 times square root of positive 172, which is just equal to I root 172. Okay, so now we get into the 172. I hope you've all learned how to simplify square roots using common terms for common whole square terms, such as 4, 16. Okay, so let's get started by dividing 172 divided by 4. That's 43. So I times root 4 times root 43 is the original value. And root 4 is just 2, so we can do 2i root 43. And 43 is a prime number, so we know we can't get farther from there. 2i root 43. Okay, let's erase that. So back to the original equation. It's minus 6 plus or minus 2i root 43. Now we can simplify the bottom. Okay, so let's divide let's divide the whole equation by 2 first. So we get negative 3. Let's use a different color. Okay. Negative 3 plus or minus I root 43 over negative 4. Now divide that whole thing by negative 1. Oh wait, never mind. Let's not do that. Okay. So here, let's rewrite this equation as the two solutions for x. X is equal to minus 3i plus, minus 3 plus I root 43 by minus 4 as one of the solutions. And as the other solution, it's minus 3 minus I root 43 by minus 4, as we saw from the plus or minus. So we can just put that as on a graph. We can just say that the first value, that first value, comma 0, and then the second value, comma 0, other two roots. Okay. So let's get into some practice problems. Okay, let's get into some practice problems. Sorry, the whiteboard is lagging a lot today. Okay, let's get into some practice problems. So for the first one, let's have minus 2x squared plus x plus 3. You guys, I'm just taking random numbers at this point because in the quadratic equation you can just throw anything in and then it'll get the exact answer. Then let's take x squared minus 3x plus 4, and then let's take minus x squared plus 8x plus 3. Okay, take a moment, pause the video, and try to solve it. Okay, let's get into the solutions. So here, our values A, B, C are minus 2, 1, and 3. So, let's do minus B plus or minus square root B squared minus 4AC by 2A. So that's just minus 1 plus or minus square root 1 minus 1 plus 24, because 4AC is negative 24 and minus times minus is plus, so that divided by negative 4, so that simplifies to minus 1 plus or minus root 25, which is just 5 by negative 4. So then our first solution would be minus 1 minus 5, which would be negative 6 by negative 4, or just 3 by 2. And the second solution is minus 1 plus 5, which is 4. So then 4 by minus 4, which is just equal to negative 1. So our solutions are negative 1 and 3 by 2. Okay, the video is getting kind of long. So these two, try to solve them and then put your answers in the comments. I will try to respond to as many as I can. Okay, this is the quadratic formula. Thank you.